roshfooco watches and things back. Cronos L6005. Their take on a rather famous homage. Let's take a look. So here it is. Let's take a few minutes to look at this Cronos homage of the rather famous Rolex reference. Picked up recently on the latest AliExpress sale in April of 2022. In fact, let's take a look at the luminescence, shall we? Okay, decent lume, as you can see. Nice kind of pale blue coloured. Even trying to homage the chromolite formula. But yeah, does really well, decent application. No issues with that. So it's an homage of the kind of larger case, maxi case Submariners, although it is the original 40mm diameter, or certainly 40mm bezel, 47.5 lug end to lug end. Does protrude a little longer because of the nature of the bracelet, but the case itself is 47.5, 13 point a bit, 13.2, 13.3 on the height, 20mm lug width, sized up for my 7-inch wrist, 147 grams. Inside here is a PT 5000, which is a kind of clone movement from an ETA 2824, so it has that 4 Hz, 8 ticks a second sweep. Again, can't argue with that. Case back is screw down. Again, very much in a kind of Rolex sterile style. The same unscrewing system. Crown is screwed down. Bracelet is all milled, and like the case back is sterile. There's no branding on the case back. Sorry, on the crown. Let me start that again. There is no branding on the bracelet or the case back. The crown, yes, there is the Cronos logo is engraved into the crown. On the dial you can see there is the applied polished Cronos branding as well. Let's just go back to this bracelet, shall we? It does taper from 20mm down to just over 15mm. Does have screw links for easy resizing. Polished sides, very finely brushed. On the top side of the links, end link fit is super duper. The tolerances there are really, really good. As we said, the clasp was unbranded, but it does have your articulated unbuckling system, and it does also have a an on-the-fly, movable, adjustable system there, again aping that of the watch that it's homaging as well. I have seen people criticise that for being a very kind of grainy and rough system. On this watch it's fine. I guess, you know, that's a lesson for all of these, but perhaps watches in general, certainly Chinese watches. You can only comment on the one that you have in hand, because the quality control, the kind of tolerances vary from unit to unit. I wouldn't say that this is representative of all watches. I think they're pretty individual, to be honest. Just focusing on the head of the watch for a moment. The case, as you can see, has got those, as you would expect in an homage of the Rolex. The sides are polished and very little by way of curvature. Does leave it pretty slab-sided. And whereas it's high polished on the flanks, it's got a lovely brush on the top surfaces, which matches with the brushing from the bracelet as well. So that's a nice kind of carryover between those two elements. Little stubby crown guards to that 6 3/4 mil screw down crown. And what I like about this one, again, which I've heard people comment on their one, that it doesn't screw down very well. This one, I have to say, is absolute cream. Whereas other watches, you get a bit nervous because of potential cross-threading, or it's a bit grainy, it's a bit rough. This fella is just, yeah, I mean, that is as smooth as it could possibly be. I can't lie. Bezel, okay enough grip. Nice action. Very little play of any sort. There's a little bit of, I mean, just a minuscule amount of up and down play. It's rock solid when in place. Lines up a treat. You can probably tell it does take a fingerprint or two. The green is a lovely kind of muted green, actually. It's got that kind of old school green Wimbledon vibe, you know. Before this purple, well, no, I mean, it's purple and green, wasn't it, back in the day? And now they wear these mad colours. Anyway, a loom pip recessed into this ceramic bezel as well. So it's got that lovely glossy ceramic green bezel, super piano black glossy dial as well. You can see the hands reflecting off the dial there. We've already had a look at the applied Cronos logo, applied markers throughout, filled with loom. Bit of printed text there, 200 meter water resistance, handset, well, what are you going to say? Of course, Mercedes style. High polished, bit of luminescence. Good length. Minute hand right out to the printed chapter ring. Second hand to the outer extremities of the chapter ring, the minute track. No problem at all. As you've seen, the wear, it does wear pretty slender, although the nature of the case does make it fairly awkward. I mean, I've got a 7-inch wrist, it's very comfortable and it kind of fits for me. If you have a smaller wrist, it might sit proud of your wrist on the two extremities here as your wrist curves that way. But for a 7-inch wrist and above, no problem at all. What did I pay for this one? Got it in the recent sale in April 2022. I think it was just over $200, which was about 162, 163 pounds, something like that. I think it's a cracker. I wear it quite a lot actually. It's the Cronos L6005. It's a cracker. What are you doing? Pick one up.